Hey everyone to the World of Dragons podcast. Welcome back. It's been forever. This is the podcast where a dragon and his writer get together to discover, review, and discuss dragon-centric media and literature, including, but not limited to, books, movies, shows, and games, to help you dragon fans find the next world of dragons you wish to visit. I am your dragon, Ray, and with me here is my writer.
Hi, I'm Bantam.
Yeah, we're back. We're not alive. Nope, I'm going to say we're not dead and we're alive at the same time. We're not alive. This is a dream.
We pre-recorded this in the event of our deaths.
If you're hearing this,
we are dead.
No, we're alive. Very sorry for how long it's taken. It's been like, I don't know, a 6-month hiatus at this point. When did we start moving? In June? July? No, it was like
we started mid-July. Like
mid-July?
Started. We actually started beginning of July, just coming over here and clearing stuff out.
All right, so it's been probably close to around 6 months, maybe a bit longer. But yeah, so my apologies. Life has been hard. There have been a lot of issues. We both ended up quitting our jobs like a year ago. Took Bantam a while to find one. He got several, but they didn't stick for reasons or another. He's got one now. It seems to be doing okay. There's just a couple of new store opening hiccups, like they don't know how busy it's going to be, so scheduling's kind of all over the place. Meanwhile, I'm staying at home, not working, taking care of aging parents that are like developing dementia and just lower range of motion, whatever. So life has been stressful. There have been a couple ups and downs. I'm going to therapy. So I'm going to do my best to get under control, all right? But, so yeah, we should start being more semi-regular moving forward. We're going to start with the books that we were mailed before my breakdown and get those done. But yeah, we're back.
We're back.
We were never truly gone. We were in your hearts all along.
I have a renewed sense of purpose for writing. I'm actually drafting a novel that I want to write right now. Very excited about it. I kind of abandoned the one that I was doing before because I like the concept of this new one better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brain just like farted completely. It's empty now. Oh yeah, I'm going to be on new ADHD medication. That should also help. Hooray!
Yeah,
works.
Yeah, that was one of the other things is like Ray has been on several different ADHD medications and none of them have seemed to really do anything. So he's been slowly ramping up.
Yeah, they've been doing other things that I have been injured, dealing with some bleeding every now and then. It's not fun. I'm pretty sure part of it might have been because one of the side effects of the early medications was constipation, and that just caused like a hemorrhoid issue or something. I don't know. There have been a lot of things affecting me lately, and so I am sorry, but life is slowly getting under control. But yeah, so right now... Oh, sorry, Bantam.
No, that's fine.
Yes, Tresnix has been super rough for me. I don't want to go on it too much because I don't like bringing real life into the podcast because I understand the whole point of books and fantasy. People want an escape, so I don't like talking about real life and the world and stuff, but everyone knows what's going on with the world, especially in America. It sucks. I hate it. My mental health has been wobbly, let's say. Just like, I think 3 days ago, I totally crashed out in front of Bantam. But yeah, okay. Enough about that. We're happy. We're dragons. We're resilient.
Are you talking about when you kicked in my door and cleaned my room?
Yeah, yes.
I as far as me, my sleep schedule has been all over the place, and I've been going to bed later in. Yeah, because my schedule at my new job is all over the place, and so I was going to bed at like 7, 8 in the morning, and waking up at like 3 or 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and just the other day, Ray comes into my room, wakes me up at like 3, and he's like, "You've been sleeping too long, get up." And then he comes in with a trash bag and just starts throwing stuff away. And I'm just like, what? Huh?
I was having a very particularly bad day from a lot of other reasons, and when I'm upset, I clean. So that was part of it. Look, cleaning is mechanical, and you can kind of just zone out while you do it. Doesn't require thinking. But alas, what we have for you guys today... since we don't have a full-on review, we're gonna get back into the habit of reading and stuff to do our regularly scheduled programming. But today, for Christmas, we're doing just a a top 5, bottom 3 list of. For me, it's all Dragon books, but Bantam's including a couple of Dragon media pieces, I think.
Yeah.
Like a game or a movie or two.
Let me look at my list real quick. There is two movies total in all 8 of them, so most of them are books.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of go back and forth. This isn't very structured, but we're gonna go like one of your top 5, one of my top 5, then one of your bottoms, one of my bottoms, and so on, right?
Can't have my bottoms. They're mine.
Yeah, let's go back and forth like that. That seems more interesting to
me. All right.
Because at least on my end, these aren't really ranked like my top 1 isn't like my all-time top 1. They're just kind of the order I thought of them in.
You know what? That's accurate to my list too. Because when I wrote my list, I was just like, I mean, I guess you could say that the first one I put down is the one I like the most, but that's not actually true. So,
that's valid. So I'm going to read mine backwards just in case that's how it worked. Like, I'll start at 5 and count down. But again, these aren't set in stone. Like, my number 1 is not my number 1 of all time, but it's probably really up there.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any other information to share before we start? Life updates? Just how much we missed all of our listeners?
So someone in the Discord asked what the chances are of me abandoning this new book idea, and I think it's pretty much 0. I found a new way of structuring the story, basically building a framework, and I am very, very happy with the direction this book is going. And so I would say that I'm already at like 50 pages.
He's not going to abandon it. He may just slow down.
Yeah.
Because like you said, he's still in the middle of some scheduling updates at work and whatnot.
Yeah. However, as far as the next episode goes when we review the books, that should be fine for me because unfortunately for the next 2 weeks, I only got 8 hours. Each week.
Like we said, it's a new location. They overstaffed because it's new. They're waiting for like the bad people to either leave or transfer or whatever. So it's chaotic right now.
But yeah, so let's get into it.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of our listeners, especially those in our Discord that have kind of just hung around in the background, at least from my perspective, the background, because I've been kind of secluding myself. Just knowing that you guys are still there, still like waiting patiently. Like no one has badgered me at all. When's the next episode? When's another episode? None of that has ever happened, right? But the fact that you guys just like exist in my vicinity, where I can kind of just see you guys talking with each other, sharing dragon memes and all that. Just thank you. It's kind of kept this from dying completely. Like, admittedly, if the Discord became really quiet because I wasn't updating anything or people got annoyed, I might have just like called the whole thing off because I couldn't handle it. But you guys are great, so thank you.
I will offer one little thing, which is the fact that I am a huge podcast consumer. I love podcasts, and there were 2 podcasts that are relevant to this right now. One was called I Don't Even Own a Television, where they reviewed books. And they would sometimes space their episodes out 3 to 5 to 6 months apart. And then they ended. And everybody was like, okay, well, that happens, But then the other one, the F+, sometimes they would go almost a year between episodes. And as a podcast consumer, I never ever got upset or disappointed that there were no episodes, but when a new one popped up, I'd be like, oh my gosh, and it would renew my interest. So I mean, people who make podcasts are people, they have lives outside of work and sometimes or outside of the podcast, and sometimes we just do what we can.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry that like there's a whole cabal of people out there with pitchforks and torches waiting.
Funny you should mention that. That's part of the reason I'm going to therapy, is just expectations of others and self-judgment, and I should do X, I should do Y, that kind of stuff. It ends up weighing on me. So yeah, just thank you guys for being very polite, quiet fans that have just been patiently awaiting my return. But yeah, so let's get into this before we start rambling about everything except our lists. All right.
Yeah.
I'll go first, okay, Bantam?
Okay.
All right. So, top 5 for Ray Dragon books of all time. This is going to be like, I wanted to get this out like a week early. It'd be like a holiday shopping guide. Like, these are the 5 books you should buy because they're amazing. Ray's seal of approval. But Top 5. Tooth and Claw / Mating Flight. Yes, I'm cheating. I'm putting 2 in one spot because they are both very, very short. Okay, look. I came up with the rules, top 5, bottom 3, and then I immediately broke my own rules. Okay? I even have some honorable mentions I'm going to mention at the end, even though we didn't talk about those at all, right? I can't. It's really hard to narrow down to just 5 that I love. I probably could do a top 10, top 15 list even, but that would be like a crazy... It'd be another one of those very rapid reviews written, whatever was called the R episode we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tooth and Claw, Mating Flight. I put them together because they're both short. One is a single book, one is 2 books. I tend to like longest series is. Like one of mine on here is a 9-book series, right? I love long series because I love getting lost in the world. I love just living in it and having more to come back to all the time. So Tooth and Claw breaks my heart being a single book. Mating Claw breaks my heart being only 2. And even then, the second one was so different from the first. It was like not as good. Admittedly, the language is very weird in both of them. That's also why I put them in the same slot because they're both kind of hard to get into if you like Bantam and don't like odd writing styles, odd proses, language usage, all of that, right? Bantam actually hates Tooth and Claw really, really bad. But, yeah. Tooth and Claw by Joel Walton and Mating Flight by... Was it Bard Bloom? Shit, I'm going to look this up real quick. But, yeah. Go on with yours, Bantam.
All right. So for my first top pick, again, in no particular order, is Wish Dragon. So out of the top 5 and the bottom 3, total of 8, only 2 of them are movies, the rest are books. So this is not me cheating, but I guess if Ray cheated, I can too. I genuinely fucking loved Wish Dragon. I know the movie did not do very well, and apparently went through development hell, but I truly, truly loved Wish Dragon. It
was good.
Yeah, I everything about the personality for Long was just, he was husband material for me.
Really? He's a little too silly to be husband material. He'd be like best friend material.
I mean, I'd date him. But yeah, I remember when we the other reason why I put Wish Dragon in one of my top is it was the very first episode we ever did, and to me that has like a special place in my heart.
Yeah, we even tried doing a commentary track for that we released here on the Discord. Don't know if I'm gonna upload that like to the actual like podcast site itself because that's a lot of hours now and they get so many hours to upload, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't even know how good it was. Like, I uploaded it, asked for feedback, and I think I got, like, 3 people that gave some semi-feedback. Like, should we do more of those? Was it fun? I have no idea.
I mean, it's an excuse to watch movies, so I'm obviously going to say yes.
But, like, are people interested in it?
Oh, I don't know. Could do a poll.
All right. You ready? You done?
Yeah.
Back to me? All right. Back to you. All right, so Ray's bottom 3. The books that he actually really, really hates for one reason or another. Number 3, the Scales and Spells series. You know, I really want to, like, give the authors names for the good stuff, but should I give it for the bad stuff? That feels kind of mean. But sure. Scales and Spells by A.J. Sherwood, right? It's an erotica book. And that's fine. I love that shit. That's fine. But it is a Dragon Shifter book. And it is probably one of the worst examples of Dragon Shifter I found. I've read a couple. They're all bad. They're all annoying. They're all eye-rolly. This one... So, like, a good thing about this one, first off, is the magic system. I love the magic system. I love the idea of the mages having to craft their spells by collecting reflected moonlight or the first snow or stuff like that. Like, really... mythical nature elements that, you know, you can't actually collect moonlight, but you can in the magic world, right? Mm-hmm. Sorry. So, like, that was the one good thing.
It just sounded like Mordecai from fucking Regular Show.
What, my cough?
Sorry.
But as far as Dragon Shifters go, this one is particularly bad because not only do they just stick in their human form for so long, like almost perpetually, like you barely ever get to see the dragon form. I think you get to see the main love interest dragon form like once in the whole book. and then you move on to other love interests on the sequels. So you never get to see like a lot of him at all. But they are the dragons. Their dragon forms, rather, are considered separate entities to the point where they refer to them like as my dragon wants this or my dragon thinks this or whatever. And it's like, no, that's just you. It's not my dragon wants to keep you. It should just be I want to keep you. Like, that's fucking bullshit. To put that extra degree of separation is like, what the hell? But yeah, I was just annoyed by it because, first of all, don't hide your dragons. Second of all, like, this is hidden to the point of, like, they're under the rug. Like, we're barely even gonna talk about the dragons. I remember at one point from the main love interest point of view, his dragon, like, stirred his head and, like, growled a little because he wasn't, like, talking to the crush. I can't remember the names, but he tells his inner dragon to, like hush up and, like, go back to sleep or something to that equivalent. Like, come on. Alright, like, Bantam, you're bottom third.
Bottom third. So, let's just get the one out of the way that Ray doesn't know is coming. Knight's Tale. Was it Knight's Tale? Or just Dragon Knight? Well, great, I think I screwed up the title. What was the one that was borderline porn?
Borderline porn? I mean...
Yeah. The one where...
If I'm thinking what you're thinking of, I think it was actually porn. There was no borderline porn.
Okay. What was that one called again?
That's a good question. You should have done your research.
I think it was Dragon... Well, because I wrote Knight's Tale, and I was so confident with that I just... But that's a movie. I think
Knight's Tale was a movie, yeah.
Yeah. Is it called Dragon's Night? Dragon Knight?
Knight's Fire, I think?
Knight's Fire. That's it. Okay. Knight's Fire. Holy shit. I do remember that was one of my favorite episodes to record, though.
Yeah, really quick. So it's Knight's Fire. It's from the Scales and Honor book series, and it's by S.J. Himes.
Yeah. It is straight up porn. And the really creepy kind to me. And I remember during the recording laughing my ass off a whole bunch because the podcast was still new. I think we were like 10 or 15 episodes in, and I just remember going, holy shit, this is going to be the worst book I've ever read on this whole podcast. I was wrong, but it was actually a really easy book to read because it was so bad. It was like the book form of The Room, that really bad movie. It's the meme. I did not hit her. Oh, okay, hi, Mark.
Yeah.
That one. It was the book version of that. It was written so middle school, childish, easy to read, that I remember I was able to just keep going faster and faster. Some people say, "Oh, page turner," but like for the wrong reasons. Because I was just like, I can't believe this book is this bad. And yeah, like I'm a horny motherfucker, and this book creeped me the fuck out.
It definitely was bad in the sense that the sex scene definitely read as taking advantage of somebody. Almost because of the way they made the dragon act. It was the whole cliche of like, oh, what's going on? Why does this feel good? Kind of stuff, right?
This feel good?
Yeah, it was terrible. And then they try to fix it after the fact by being like, oh, no, I know what sex is. It's fine. But it's like, then why do you act that way if you know what sex is?
Yeah, I highly suggest any new listeners to the podcast to go back and listen to that episode, Knight's Fire, because I've listened to it probably 20 or 30 times, and I love how much I giggle and find like the sheer premise of and the stupidity of that book just the funniest shit in the world to me. But
it's weird because like I agree that one was bad, but I would say that mine, Scales and Spells, was worse. Like I didn't put Knight's Fire on my bottom 3 list. I considered it, but I didn't because it definitely had some like I hate what Scales and Spells did with their dragons much worse, because at least in Knight's Fire the dragon was a dragon for like a good, I think, third of the book. Like he only changed it when he needed hands to help like heal somebody who was bleeding out, right? So it's like at least he didn't try to hide his dragon. They still had a very questionable scene, but at least the dragon was a dragon for the most part, until he suddenly wasn't, but alas. All right, back to the good stuff. top five. Number 4 from Ray. All the Skills by Honor Ray. This is basically dragons in a universe where you have to build a deck of cards in your heart, and each card is like a magical spell or a magical skill. And you know what? I fucking love card games. Cards are great. I watched card captors all the time as a kid growing up, and I thought that was the coolest shit ever. I tried to like make my own little deck of cloud cards because the idea of casting spells from a deck of cards was just the most amazing thing to me. And it still is like a good idea. There's better ways to handle it than card captors nowadays, but seriously, cards and dragons, it was like literally made for me. It was such an amazing find because it was as I've said before, I'm going to take a break from dragon books and just read a fun looking little RPG because I just need a break, right? And oh my gosh, there's dragons in it. Holy shit. Right?
I actually remember the day we were at work when you were like, because we were working at the grocery store and you were working the floor and I was in the kitchen, and you came running back and you were like, we got to do this book for the podcast. And you explained the premise, and I remember rolling my eyes and groaning in my head because I'm like, ugh, a book about cards.
And then it was good. You liked it.
I'm just going to say right now that it's also in my top 5. So yes.
Oh, cool. So we can just like 2 for 1.
Kind of. Yeah, we can kind of 2 for 1 this.
There you go. Hey, listeners, we both agree on this being in the top 5. It's just that good, right? The dragons are basically people. They have personalities. They have lines of dialogue. We don't do the Dragon Rider sin. Yeah, that's right. It's technically a Dragon Rider book. But we don't do the Dragon Rider sin of the dragon can only talk to the writer telepathically. Like, I hate that shit. This is just like, I can't remember all of the dragons' names, but they're so great, right?
The other thing that I really liked about it that you mentioned Dragon Riders is that the dragons have autonomy. The riders, they're not just simply talking beasts of burden.
Mm-hmm. So what are the reasons you loved it then? Since I asked you to put bullet points on your list on like, these are the reasons why I like it.
First of all, Arthur, the main character, is not a pushover, not a whining little simp throughout the entire book. I mean, he starts that way, and that's fine because
I think he starts 12 at the very beginning.
He does, and the author lets him grow. Like, he actually grows throughout the book to the point where you're like, you see where he came from and where he is, and you're like, he did really, really good with character development. I would say that the book for me is a 9 out of 10. However, and again, tiny little side tangent here, the narrator for the audiobook version, 10 out of 10. I don't know if I'd have been able to force myself to read 3 whole books physically in my hands. I did the audiobooks. And the narrator crushed it, like to the point where I tried setting up an interview, but I think that fell through. Yeah, I sent an email back and forth with the narrator trying to interview him about the books he's narrated for, and he was like, "I'll let you know," and then nothing. So, oh well.
Yeah, I do like also how Arthur. Similar to the reasons I like Tooth and Claw and Maiden Flight is I kind of like high society settings. Like I've joked with Bantam before, I'm going to start watching Downton Abbey, right? I kind of like that general setting. I like characters when they're in positions of power. I like the idea of reading a book where the main character is like a prince or something. And Arthur, in the first book at least, he's only pretending. I guess minor spoiler, right? He's only pretending to be a noble at some point, but I like that ecosystem where when you're trying to navigate stuff, you have to go to these parties and you have to talk to people in a certain way and dress a certain way. Like that's stuff that I personally find interesting, and that happens a good deal in all the skills. And then in some of the future books, so I'm not going to touch on it all because of major spoilers, but in some of the future books, it gets better. Like most of the time, you get main characters who are like, no, I can't have any responsibility. I must like push this aside because what I don't know their reasoning half the time. Like if there was for example, a book where the main character was going to be a prince, they're going to like make him abdicate halfway through the book because he can't do that because he's got to go on an adventure or something, right? Like, I feel like that happens, like, fairly often. But it doesn't, at least so far, because the series is still being written. So far, it has not happened. We've actually, like, embraced the responsibility and position of power like side of things, and I really enjoyed that. All right, so since we kind of double teamed an entry on the top 5, I'll just go straight into like my next bottom 3.
Well, how about because I have a fourth bottom. It's not a specific book, so I'll just get that one out of the way.
Okay.
And this is probably going to be controversial. It's any book that uses the word wing, scale, claw, or tooth in the title.
Excuse me? Why?
Because it's so fucking overdone. Oh,
but how...
or fire. Wing, scale, claw, tooth, or fire.
But how do you know it's a dragon book then?
Okay, all the skills. I mean, I don't know. But at the same time, you and I have scouted out Barnes and Nobles and seen dragon books that don't have the word dragon because of the cover. And then you've had other ones that have dragon in the title and they have nothing to do with dragons. But, I mean, so I'm looking at my list and none of my books fall into that problem. But it's so... like, I made a joke one time where I was like, I'm going to write a dragon book and it's going to be called Dragon's Claw Fire Tooth, and, you know, it just all the fucking buzzwords that, like, someone just types into Amazon or Kindle and it's like, dragon. You know, it's so lazy to me.
I'm going to write a dragon book. I'm going to call it This is a Book About Dragons.
The thing is that I guarantee you that if you gave me 10 minutes uninterrupted, I could pull 30 or 40 books that if I just threw the titles at you, you'd have like, no, that you'd think I was just fucking with you.
We make it a mini game of, is it a dragon book or not?
Oh, that would be fun. I'm going to write that down. So yeah, we'll just put that because I agree with
your
Ray
bonus. Your bonus bottom is just anything that follows this naming scheme.
Books with lazy titles.
I wouldn't call them lazy titles. I think they're thematic. I think it helps let the audience know that it was a book that should be focusing. That's the keyword, should be, because Bantam's right. I've gone to Barnes & Noble. I've glanced through books. I know that dragon fiction is such a niche genre that it's like hard to. I'm not going to find a Barnes & Noble half the time, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a store that appeals to the normies. But, you know, maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. I'll be walking on the aisle and I'll see like a book with a dragon on the cover. I'll pick it up. I'll read the blurb on the back, and it'll be like a fun find, right? Doesn't usually happen. Usually the opposite. Like, here's a book with dragon on the cover or a dragon in the title, and yeah, it's not even a fantasy book. Authors trying to just be kind of fancy with the title, and it's like, ugh, so annoying.
There's a book that I want to someday, if I ever find it again, read for the podcast. It would require like pulling favors with Ray. The problem is I already forgot the title, and it was a long time ago we saw it in a Barnes and Noble, and all I remember was that the cover was orange, yellow, and gold. I know what you're talking about, yeah. And the premise of the book was that a bunch of kids fighting against a tyrannical government end up finding a buried Eastern dragon mech that is sentient, and they pilot it. Like, it's huge, like skyscraper sized, and they pilot it to war. But it's basically the mech itself is sentient and it's a dragon. And I was like, yes, all the things I love, mechs and fucking war.
The problem is that I was also, I remember seeing it, and it was very, very thick. It
was like 5 inches thick. Yeah. It was a book you could kill somebody with.
All right, so I guess back to one of my tops.
Yes.
Number 3 on Ray's top 5 dragon books so far is the Dragon Sorcerer series. Let me get the author's name. But the first one's called Claws Out, so immediately we're going into Bantam's bottom of, like, I hate these titles.
You know what? I actually forgive that one, because don't the other books all have similar naming schemes, and it's like really cool?
Yeah, so it's the Dragon Sorcerer series by goddamn Amazon. Why are you laid out? Sean Oswald, right? But yeah, the first one's Claws Out, then it's Wing Spread, Tail Smash, Bite Down, Horned Crown.
Yes, it gets the pass because that's really cool. Because at that point it's thematic.
But yeah, it's technically a shifter book, like I'll admit that, but it is the best shifter book that I've ever read, right? Like the main character, Nico Sandumas, he is unarguably a dragon. Like he still thinks like a dragon, he still talks like a dragon. This is the exact opposite of a dragon wearing a human skin that people usually complain about when they read other dragon books. Like Wings of Fire is a decent enough entry point for dragon literature, but you can't deny that for the most part they are like just human characters wearing dragon skins. This is the opposite. He is unequivocal. I can't think of the words. Unequivocally, irrevocably, whatever. Fancy words, big words for Ray. He's a dragon, right? I think at some point he's still like he actually, while in his human form, calls like another human like prey, like disdainfully, and it almost blows his cover or something. But that's the kind of stuff we're dealing with, right? It is also just it's a power fantasy type book, which I enjoy power fantasies, especially with my dragons. I don't like when dragons are overly weak and like could lose to humans, because like what's the point then? If you're gonna have a dragon be on par or even weaker than a human, they should outnumber them. Otherwise, how are they like existing in this case? But yeah, and it's also something that's currently being written. But the direction I see it going, because I'm currently caught up on it, the direction I see it going is also really, really good. We might, I don't know if this is technically spoilers or not, but we might get like a nation of dragons, like there'll be like a dragon king, and like the dragons themselves I don't know if they'll have houses, I don't know if they're gonna have architecture, but the concept of a dragon nation is just like, yes, that is sick as fuck. Let's no longer have them just be random creatures in the wild. Let's band together and be a nation.
Quick question for you, Ray. Do you have anything besides books in your top 5?
No. Everything
you are.
Books.
I'm actually ashamed of you then. You didn't put Golden Treasure anywhere in your top 5?
Oh, that's okay. That's one of my rule-breaking honorable mentions, and I'll get to that at the end. Okay.
Okay. So my next positive one.
Yes.
We actually haven't read this book for the podcast, but we read it before the podcast.
Dragon Hack?
Yeah, it's called Blasphemy Online, Dragon Hack. So the core concept of the book is kind of like Ready Player One. It's a MMORPG that takes place in at least in the real world side of it. A horrible religious, like iron gripped dictatorship. So this kid goes into this MMO and he has to choose his character, and it's done in this esoteric weird way, but he ends up being a dragon.
Is this the book that had the like in the spawning room that's called, I can't remember if it was a lit RPG video game style or if it was a reincarnation style, but I remember there was a book I read that had the dragon like bound up in chains and talking to the
was
person.
that one.
That was
no
okay.
Wait, I don't know, that's these books all blend together. But at any point he becomes a dragon, but the one of the rules that this universe establishes is that they have souls in the game, and they swap. So when he logs into the game, or at least this dragon, I don't know if it happens with everything.
No, I think this is a unique case of it happening.
Yeah, when he logs into the game and plays as the dragon's soul ends up taking over his human body back in the real world, and he's a fat loser nerd. So the dragon is horrified and is like, I'm so fat, I can't move, and it hurts to breathe. So
he starts exercising.
He starts exercising, which nearly kills the body.
So he logs out of the game and he's like, oh my god, everything hurts, what the heck?
Yeah, but it's imagine Ready Player One, but not bad. I read Ready Player One, and it is terrible. It is the entire. I was
going to say low bar though.
It is. I mean, but Ready Player One, is like everybody knows it got a movie, undeservedly so. But
I thought the movie was okay, but they did differ from the book enough.
Well, that's the movie was okay because it differed from the book.
Yeah.
The book was chapter upon chapter of, hey, remember this thing you like? Hey, remember this thing you like? Hey, remember this thing you like? But yeah, Blasphemy Online Dragon Hack. I think we got 2 books into it, maybe 3.
We either, I think we maybe started the third, but never actually finished it because then we got distracted by something else.
It was one of the books that led you to thinking we should make a podcast for this kind of shit.
So I got him to read this before the podcast even incepted.
Yeah, when Ray was just like, I'm going to force you to read. Oh, it was for our book club, wasn't it?
I don't think so, because when I started the book club in Telegram, it was specifically for Wings of Fire. And then that kind of fell apart because we got to maybe book 6 or 7 of Wings of Fire. And I think true. I just kept it going with you on the sidelines because you're a real one, G.
Thank you. But yeah, Blasphemy.
the thought of a dragon telling us that you're a real one, G. It's like, oh god.
With the deep voice and everything.
That was crazy. Take it back.
Imagine a dragon doing the hand gestures,
He's trying to fit in with the human culture.
The hand curled into a fist, but with the middle and forefinger stretched out, and then he just tilts it downward like, you're a real one, G.
God, I don't know if that's cringe or hilarious, but it's somewhere in between.
All right.
Fun fact for the podcast, when we started, I was considering heavily leaning into the I'm a Dragon sharing this podcast much more than I am now. I mean, I call myself the dragon at the beginning of the episode, right? But I'm talking, I can't even think of a good example at the time, but I was gonna actually get a voice modulator and try to deepen my voice and talk in growls and have sound effects in the background of when my wings would shift and stuff. You know what? First off, that's a lot of effort. Second, that's kind of cringe. But you know what? Embrace the cringe. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. On to one of the number 2 of Ray's bottom 3. All right. I unlovingly call this the Ice Cream Dragon book, okay? But its actual title is...
Holy shit. He found it.
What? The Ice Cream Dragon book? Oh,
yeah,
the mech one in the Discord.
Phoenix Extravagant. Yep, I recognize that. By Yoon-Ha Lee.
Yeah. Wonder if you can get the word count or whatever. But, it's called... Shit, hold on. Royal Road. I don't want to go to Royal Road. So the book series is called A New Kind of Freak. Book 1's called Bitter Reality, and it's by... Banana Alloy? That's gotta be a pen name. Banana Alloy. It is... I couldn't even finish the book. I got halfway through and had to give up on it. It is just that bad. It's mostly boring. So I call it the Ice Cream Dragon book because the dragon is literally made of ice cream. 100% made of ice cream. If he doesn't stay in the cold, he's going to melt. There's a bunch of creatures out there who keep trying to eat him because he's made of ice cream and he's tasty and delicious. And it's I just explained in my last entry that I love the power fantasy of dragons, and this is the opposite. Look, I understand some people want their power fantasies to start off weak because, character growth is great, but this is to a whole new extreme, right? In freaking Claws Out, the Dragon Sorcerer series, right? The dragons hatchlings, there was 8-ish in the nest at the beginning, and then there's only 2 towards the end. And part of that was because they fought amongst each other and killed each other off. Part of that was because they are predated upon by other larger, more magical creatures. Apparently dragon hatchlings are a really good snack for phoenixes, right? It's I get that for the sake of the ecology. I can understand dragon hatchlings being weak and being food for other things. But again, this book took it to an extreme that's eye-rolling, oh, come on, really? And then the other problem with it is that the main character is just alone for so long. He's in his cave. He's trying to, dig a hole somewhere, I think. He's trying to get stronger because he needs to get XP to level up, because I think it's a lit RPG also. But the point is the main character is alone with his thoughts, and that leads, at least to me, to very boring writing because they can't share dialogue with anybody. And
they also will self-narrate like Aloy from fucking Horizon Zero Dawn.
And not it's even because the dragon never spoke anything out loud, I don't think. I can't remember.
Again, I don't know. I'm just guessing. Usually when you have one character all by themselves in a novel, they start talking to themselves like a crazy person, and you're just oh my god, shut up.
Yeah, it's even though I said I hated Scales and Spells, right? There was many things I didn't like about it. I still read 4 out of the 5 books, right? But this one could not finish the first one. There's 3 books out, I think. Maybe? I don't know. When I was Googling to try to find the name of the series, it said book 3, autofill. But I couldn't even finish the first one. So maybe you guys will like it. Maybe it's just not for me. But oh my god, it's so boring. All right, Bantam, your bottom number 2.
Nye in our Discord says, what's wrong with self-narrating? I don't talk to myself when I'm alone sometimes. And I said, no, I don't. I mean, aside from maybe under my breath, like, that was stupid. Like, but that's it.
I will talk to myself, mostly in my head, sometimes out loud if I'm truly alone, just because that's the way my brain formulates thoughts. Is my brain formulates thoughts as if they were a discussion, to the point where I have other personas in my brain, and not in a crazy way, but in a I have to explain this to you other persona, because that's how I work through the thought.
I have an internal monologue. Absolutely. It is never, ever shutting the fuck up. But I'm talking specifically about saying shit out loud.
No, but like I will sometimes.
In most books, it's always in quotation marks. The character is literally in an empty room talking. And it's like, you're crazy. I don't talk to myself out loud. No, ever.
The thing is, you're right. It can be crazy. But if a character is alone for a long enough times, they will start doing that for the sake of they're starting to go crazy. So they have to talk to them. They have to hear somebody talk, right? That's the thing that actually happens. But as far as I know, like, again, I could not finish it. So maybe he starts talking to himself, or maybe I stopped just before he finds a companion to start sharing dialogue with. But I swear I got through half the book and I just couldn't.
The book that I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast that I'm writing, I've already introduced like 3 other characters, so there are 4 other characters, so there's a total of 5 with the main character included, and you know I'm building on these characters and giving them different personalities and shit, but they all bounce off each other really well. But so my next top or bottom. Okay, well, there's no avoiding it anymore. Mating Flight.
No, he hates all my books.
Okay, so
I think it's kind of good that you and I have much different tastes. That your bottoms can be my tops, because it can help us have a unique your bottoms and my tops. I know, right? No context.
God, but just brain is so rotted.
But it can help us have unique point of views on some perspectives. That's the word on some of these things.
Yeah. So I did not finish that book. And here's why. Even though I bashed Knight's Fire for being way too easily readable, like it was written by a grade schooler, you can go really far in the opposite direction. You can write a modern version of the Similaran, where you introduce the most ridiculous, crazy concepts that come from a fever dream, where characters have the most ridiculous sentence structure and talk to themselves in like weird flowing script that doesn't make any fucking sense unless you are in a a silent room just focused on this book. But I could not fucking focus. You ever see that meme? You ever see that meme video where it's like a person sitting in a chair watching a Star Wars movie versus doing math homework, and the math homework dude is spinning around in circles and tapping his leg because he's bored out of his fucking mind? That was me that whole book. I hated it. I hated it so much.
I need to interject a little bit because Bantam is being a little unfair. He has convoluted it in his mind a little bit. The language is not that bad, right? The dialogue makes sense, with a few exceptions being that the author, Bard Bloom, has like created whole words for some of their things. Like the dragon magic system in this book, I'm gonna try to remember it because it's been a couple years, but like they have like an aura that they can like extend from themselves, but he doesn't call it an aura, he calls it like a wefo or something like that. But there's like 3 or 4 different parts. That sounds
familiar. Something that aggravated me.
Because the way the magic works is that as either when they were born or when they're in the egg or something, they get the soul like ripped from their body and then like stitched back on. But by having the soul ripped from the body, they're able to project it a short distance away and have their influence affect things. And it's like, if it's the literal soul, it's called one thing. If it's the aura around the soul, it's called something else. And if it's like he had a lot of extra words for it. And then it doesn't help that his naming system is like, you cannot pronounce it with a human tongue. It's like one of the characters was like Nararan or something, but like the N's and the R's are too close to each other that you can't pronounce it. There's another character called like Ledr or whatever. It's like LLEDRH or something. Yeah, thank you, Chesnick's posting the names. Like Nararan, Lered. Tutumon is actually pronounceable, at least. Yathak is doable. But the point is, it's like, again, I don't even know what the like canonical pronunciation of what lead is. I think I called him Lead in my head. Red or whatever. Gesturanu. But yeah, so the names, both the character names and the names of the aspects of the dragons themselves, the way the magic system worked, was it just felt like it. I will concede it felt like half of the book was made up words. I will give you that. To the point where there was a glossary at the end of the book. Yes, and
okay.
Look, I love glossaries. There was a time, I think it was like, I read them in the early 2000s, but they may have been written in the 90s, 80s, or whatever, where fantasy books would have glossaries in them because they wanted the reader to know, hey, this is the name of all my countries, the name of all my magic system, the name of all my whatever. I like that. I can handle that. Bantam can't.
I'm reading the glossary right now that Jason exposed it, and I'm like, some of these words are dog shit. Like, all I can picture is, while you were trying to defend the book, me sitting in a couch doing that absolute cinema meme, but it's just absolute garbage. Like,
a sensory property known to dragons, Illuyu. A dragon game to Sheriaf. It's like, yeah, so there are a lot of made-up words. I feel like it added to the culture of the dragons, but I will concede the author went way too hard on it. It's really far. I don't think the book could ever get an audiobook because of this. Like, good fucking luck.
Actually, I would really love to record myself reading it. Or just God,
we'll do the
somebody,
audiobook ourselves.
Hand some random narrator the book and just go. No editing. No editing. Because I want to hear all the times he sounds out a word and goes, "What the fuck?"
The bloopers of the audiobook.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why Bantam hates it. The dialogue itself is fine. When the dragons talk to each other or they talk to other people, it's normal dialogue with just these made-up words sprinkled in, which makes it hard for people like Bantam to get into. You may have a hard time understanding it also. You may love that shit like I do. This is why us having different viewpoints is...
Yeah. I remember when we were starting Mating Flight, and because when Diletan was still there, and I remember having private conversations with Diletan, like, dude, I can't read this shit, I can't, and he's like, it's not that bad, like, you just need to skip over big parts of it. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, anytime a character talks, just skip it.
We read that before Did we read that before or after Diletan left?
Huh?
Did you read that?
It was before he left.
Okay, so he read it too?
Yeah, he read it. He didn't hate it. I remember he didn't hate it. I was the only one who hated it. Mm-hmm. And I remember because, like, the two of you guys were, like, dogging on me, like, oh, it's not that bad. It was so bad. It was a solid DNF for me.
I will say, like, you're helping me remember it because I'm talking about it, that, again, also Mating Flight is a very, very good dragon power fantasy, right? The dragons are almost literally immortal. Not because they technically are, but because they are just that strong that they have to have some sort of defect in order to actually be killed by one of the lesser races. To the point where they, for a vacation, in this case, the Mating Flight, which is like a pre-mating honeymoon, they just open a portal, go to a random world, and just take it over, right? It's so fun. Although, warning for people who are I guess weak to it, there is a lot of dragon sex in the book. If you don't like the dirty, then you may want to avoid it.
Shiny. Ew, what the heck?
I'm like, come on, no, dragon sex is good, okay? Everyone deserves to have sex. How do you think baby dragons are made?
Yeah, magic, obviously. That's what Dragon Sales taught me.
Alright. On to Ray's number 2. Top 5, number 2. It's the Temeraire series by Naomi Novik. This is the 9-book series. I love it. It's set in... I want to call it Victoria, England, but I might get my time periods wrong. It's during the Napoleon War. It's an alternate history Earth. It takes place during the Napoleonic War. I think that's Victorian England. I don't know. But
it's
again,
the fastest way to kill my soul. It's 9 books about the Napoleonic era with
And
dragons.
I'm gonna make you read them for the podcast eventually.
I will literally kill myself.
At the very least, the first 2. Okay.
Oh God.
But it's so good. Okay, the dragons are actually people in this. In the second book, you see a couple scenes where dragons are actually like working jobs to get money so they can buy their food, whatever. So like actually like people that have to fit into society in some of these countries, right? The countries all have different ways that they deal with dragons. And then I don't want to get into too much spoilery, but like dragon citizen rights definitely comes up and is a major driving factor for a lot of the books. They can be airship sized. Like the whole concept is the dragons are the Air Force and their captains are their main riders, who the dragons are very possessive of, to the point where you can capture a dragon by just getting onto its back and like holding their captain at gunpoint, right? The dragon will do everything they can to not get their rider killed. But also while they're, riding these into combat, the captain is the main rider on the dragon's back, right? But they come with like a crew of like I think like up to like 50 or 100 people, everything from bellmen to gunners to like they're literally like treated like ships, which is it's great, right? I think that's really cool. But again, the personification of the dragons is like amazing. Temura himself is just a fucking sweetheart, and I would do anything for him. Tree Snakes, I've read that book. I've actually read that book. I could go off on that, but that's going to be not this episode. For the listeners, it's The Natural History of Dragons by Mary Brennan. But yeah, so Temura, it's great. The dragons are amazing. I like the world. I really, really like high society England type settings, right? Part of the book is definitely combat and just the training for the combat and like the dragon camps or whatever they called them. They're not Ares, they're called something else. But part of it is also just because Lawrence, the main character, is an English gentleman, and so he has to kind of like deal with some of that stuff. He has to leave a lot of it behind when he joins the Dragon Air Force, whatever it's called, because of just assumptions made by the citizenry. Like they don't like dragons because they're beasts and they're brutes and whatever. That's one of the things they have to kind of work through in the world building as the books go on. But like there are several like dinner parties and they end up on like real ships. Like they have dragon aircraft carriers basically. They're big ass ships that are meant to hold dragons when they have to go long distances from country to country. And while on there, you deal with the whole etiquette of like the captain of the ship invites you to the dinner in his cabin, so you go and this is how you do gentlemanly conversation to make sure that you're a good company for a dinner party. And after dinner, you get coffee and cigars out on the deck and take the air and all that stuff. And it's great. I fucking love it, right? I could go on and on about it, and I'm saving that for when I force Bantam to read this. At least the first 2 books. Book 1, just because, again, that's how we get an intro into the world and all that. Book 2, I think, is important because we get to see a major 180 on how dragons are treated between 2 different countries in Book 1 and Book 2, right? But it's great. The world building is amazing. Naomi is amazing writer. I will begrudgingly admit that it being a 9-book series, some of it does drag on very long, to the point where it just feels like it's just almost more of the same. It's like, because most of the books are going from country to country to country, so you can kind of see what they're like. You start in England, then you go to China. At some point, you end up in Australia. At another point, you don't end up in America, but you end up seeing American dragons.
Jake Long?
Another point, no, shut up. At some point you see Russian dragons, at some point you see Turkish dragons, and so because they want to just go and show you dragons from all the different countries, it can feel very samey and like, yes, we've seen this already, but now we get to see it in Japan because we just need to see how Japan treats their dragons. Like, I still liked it. I will eventually like reread it again when I can sit through 9 books, but it's like it's really good. Okay, all right, I'm done. You're number 2, Bantam.
I am saving my best for last, so my number 2 positive is Damsel. I like it's a movie, not a book, or maybe it's based off a book, I don't know. But we did watch that one for the podcast and do a review on it. It is essentially, and spoilers, so skip ahead 2-3 minutes. I don't know, but it's an anti-trope book for me, or anti-trope movie for me. The princess is actually the heroine. You know, she's the strong character or whatever, and the princesses are sacrificed to this dragon constantly for a debt that the king made. And I liked the fact that the dragon wasn't the end goal, murder this thing and save the day. That the dragon was wronged, and the dragon is sentient and speaks, and comes to understand that it was betrayed. And so the princess and the dragon kind of team up to fucking just murder the whole kingdom. It was great, and I loved it. I loved it so much.
It was a very interesting ending that I kind of enjoyed. If they made a sequel, I would watch it. Most of the meat of the movie, I was like kind of unsure and like, I don't know if I like this because it's. So I don't know if it was. Hold on, would you call it as? I don't know what the term is, but like, would you call it as torture porn? That's the word. Would you call it as torture porn? Was it as bad as the freaking Tomb Raider?
Tomb Raider? No.
No,
well,
not that bad?
I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it, but no, it wasn't that bad. Laura in the remade games or the more modern games is straight up torture porn. But this princess was kind of slapped around a lot. You know, like she was beat half to death throughout most of the thing, but most of the book was her just trying to get out of the cave. And then the politics of, you know, the other characters in the background being like, we did it. The city's safe again for another year, whatever. I don't know. But there were parts in the movie where it was like, all right, can we carry on?
I would never watch it again, but I am happy I saw it at least once. Correction, I will watch it again once if we do another commentary track for it if the podcast wants to see that.
Yeah.
But like, so, I have no inherent desire to rewatch it. But I'm happy that I saw it once. So everybody, if you have a Netflix subscription, go watch it.
Go watch Damsel.
It's not worth picking up Netflix just for that, though.
No.
It is worth picking up Netflix for a month just so you can watch Ninja and Wish Dragon and...
What was the other one with the girl with the pink hair? And the Black Knight.
Pink hair and Black Knight? I don't remember.
The one that was like fantasy futuristic.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Shit, the one...
Can't remember the name of the movie.
The one with the gay knights and the dragon is not really a dragon. She's just shapeshifter, but takes a dragon form at some point. Shit. Fuck, I can't remember what it was called.
I can't either.
It was a cyberpunk medieval city with a big wall because there's dangerous things outside of the wall. The beginning of the movie is the knighting ceremony, but he ends up like getting blamed for the murder of like the knight commander or something. I don't remember who.
Somebody is listening to this and fucking losing their fucking mind because
it's this movie. It's this one.
Well, because like I've been that person. Like they're talking about it. I know what they're talking about, and then they're gonna carry on without coming up with the title, and it's gonna drive that person insane. But yeah,
Nimona.
Oh,
Google, I love you. Movie main character shapeshifter, red hair, Nimona. Thank you. But yes, Nimona.
Oh, God.
So yeah, we should make a list of these are the things that are worth picking up on Netflix for 1 month for. Sahara is about snakes, but that's also one.
I like Sahara.
Yeah. Sorry. So, did you finish talking about?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Okay.
It's you know, again, spoilers. 15-second skip here. Yeah, it's a story about a dragon that eats princesses because the king keeps feeding them to it, and then you find out the real reason why. The princess makes a deal with the dragon, and they go fucking murder the king. It's great.
Way to spoil the ending, God. It's okay, you watch it for the visual splendor of it, not for the plot twistiness of it. Alright, here we go, guys. Ray's #1 most hated Dragon Book series of all.
Oh, God.
Bantam, do you have any guesses? You probably don't.
It better not be my top pick.
There's no fucking way, because you haven't read it.
Okay, then. What was that book? I'm gonna assume it's the book that you used to, when we worked at the grocery store, that you used to like scream out loud and then just come marching over to me and tell me how fucking angry.
No, the books that I don't remember what it was, but I was the me punching the wall, stomping to and talking about it was a really bad pun in the book, and it was actually from the Claws Out book, the Dragon Sorcerer series.
Yeah,
they made
crouching tiger, hidden dragon thing.
Yeah, because at one point they get attacked by like tiger ninjas or whatever, and
Yeah.
so there's some stupid pun about hidden, how a crouching dragon would be better than a hidden tiger any day or something. It's like it was
something like that. I remember you literally went
Yeah.
And because we worked overnight in a grocery store where no one else was around, I just look up and I'm like, excuse you?
Yeah. All right. So anyway, my number one most hated dragon book series. It's Dragon Friend by Mark Sakia. Holy shit. I hate this so much. Let's go! Yeah, it is the absolute worst thing I have ever read, and the most upsetting part about it is it didn't start as the worst thing. It started really good, right? The first book by itself in a vacuum is pretty decent. The first book by itself in a vacuum is pretty decent. Grandin is a great character. I love Grandin, and I kind of enjoyed the Nation of Dragons, like, again, from Claws Out, if fingers crossed get a Nation of Dragons, right? The Nation of Dragons seemed interesting. They were, like, technologically advanced, but they also had magic. I don't remember all the details, but, like, I wanted to see more of that world and whatever, and again, the first book was fine. It ended in a way that felt like it should have just ended, like it should have been like a one and done series, but then when they brought it back for like book 2, 3, 4, it progressively got worse and worse. We ended up getting so it is a dragon and a human falling in love kind of story, and then in the second book we get the manufactured misunderstanding so that they don't like each other anymore, so you can make them like fall in love again kind of deal. They can argue and they can all that, but what really, really makes it so bad is there's the concept of dragon obey, right? There's another country of dragon mages, I'm going to call them, where they have such power over dragons that the queen of them, whatever, just like points at the dragon, says dragon obey, and boom, dragon's mind controlled. The worst fucking thing I've ever seen. At another point, she points to the dragon and says dragon seizure, and the dragon just fucking dies. Like, just drops right out of the air. It's like, come the fuck on. Like, that is absolute garbage. Like, should not happen to dragons. Dragons can do it, but it shouldn't happen to dragons. But then also, like, just the scale of the world gets so out of control so fast, right? Like, the world is a bunch of islands in a sea of like toxic gas, and so they have to fly airships back and forth between the islands, right? Turns out some of these islands are sleeping dragons, right? So some of these dragons get so big that at one point there is a scene in one of the books, I can't remember if it's book 3 or 4 or whatever, they go inside a dragon for some reason, I can't remember, but they travel through the dragon's artery system. That's how they get from one point to the other, through the dragon's arteries. That's how big it is. And it's like, what the heck, right? But the worst part. Okay, so at one point, the main girl character turns into a dragon, and that's amazing. She apparently has 2 souls in her, and so she turns into a dragon. That's great, like absolute cinema, right? Stop right there. Unfortunately, this happens right before the dragon obey queen comes in, but whatever. She ends up having to turn back into human form at some point because like both bodies exist in parallel realities, and she has to make sure that they both get fed and exercise and kind of thing, whatever. But whatever, that was fine. But like the greatest sin, oh my god, this is the point where I shut the book, put it down, never picked it up again, right? The main dragon character wants to become human so he can be with her forever. Like, he's willing to give up everything about himself to be with her. And, like, he wishes for it so hard at some point during some, like, aerial fight with some other people, whatever, that, like, he's falling as a dragon, and then, like, flash of magic, now he's falling as a human. And it's like, God fucking damn it. It's like, holy shit. I'm so sick.
It's Dragon Shifters written by normies.
Yeah. So, the worst part about paranormal romance, so like Dragon Shifter books, or like werewolves, or vampires, or demons, or whatever. The worst part about all these things is it's always the main love interest character, the guy, that has to give up everything to be more like the girl. It's like, it's always that direct, and it's always, I will change everything about myself because I'm a monster and I want to be with you, so I'm going to change everything. It's like, no, how come she doesn't get to meet him halfway? Why doesn't she change to be with him? And like, that's kind of why I like Claws Out. Even though Claws Out is another Dragon Shifter, because it does go both ways, right? Like, Nico Sandumas is learning some human mannerisms, he's learning how humans think, and he's learning to not be so mean to them, but he still thinks like a dragon. Meanwhile, I can't remember her name, his love interest, his rider, is becoming more dragon-like. She's, like, literally getting, like, scales and at one point wings and all that, but she's also starting to think like a dragon more. She's getting more aggressive, and she gets angry more often, and, like, when someone insults her, she's, like, her initial reaction is, like, gonna, like, claw their throat out. Like, this is, like, actually they're meeting, like, halfway, rather than it's always the monster male character that has to change for the sake of the female. It's like, get over yourselves, girls. Come on.
So I'd like to congratulate Mark Secchia on receiving the Golden Poop Dragon Award.
Hooray!
Or the Golden Dragon Poop Award.
Here's
be
the
sure
weird
to
thing,
mail
right?
that.
So some people in the Discord are trying to, like, post the stuff as we're talking about it. Thank you, Trace Nix, for doing that. He posted Call Me Dragon, which is also by Mark Secchia. I read that book begrudgingly because I hated Mark Secchia for so long after Dragonfriend. I read Call Me Dragon, wasn't that bad, kind of enjoyed it. Haven't gone to the second one yet because I'm, like, really nervous he's going to break my heart again. But, like, I don't know if Mark Secchia himself was just terrible or if it's just Dragonfriend went to places I didn't want it to go, but whatever. Maybe I'll be brave and I'll try the Call Me Dragon series again later. But oh my god, Dragonfriend, fuck off, die. Alright, Bantam, you're a golden dragon.
My golden dragon poop is Tooth and Claw.
No! How could you?
So, Tooth and Claw to me feels like, if anyone knows the YouTuber Spiffing Brit, it feels like the book was written by him. And it aggravates the piss out of me. I don't like politics. I don't like lawyer stuff. I don't like courts. I
do. Again, I'm
dining.
probably going to get into Downton Abbey at some point. I
don't like fine dining. Everything that Downton Abbey is things I hate. Hate it. Like, I love Margot Robbie as an actress, but I will not in a million fucking years watch the new movie that she's in because it's infuriatingly boring to me. It's like when you watch a TV show or a movie and someone's watching, like, Spanish novellas and you're just, like, staring at the screen like, what the fuck is happening? That's what it feels like to me every time one of these stupid British shows comes on, where it's just people like breathily sighing in rooms with other people and having dinner parties and scandalous.
Hold on, I need to top in because, again, I love it, but it wears this, like, on its sleeve. It knows it, and it's amazing because, like, you actually have a chapter of the book Tooth and Claw. A chapter is called A Dinner Party, and then later on another chapter is called A Second Dinner Party, and then later on the book another chapter, The Third Dinner Party. Right?
Okay, so there's
chapter 17 is like a fourth confession. It's like it knows what it's doing, and it's the most amazing thing ever. I love it. Okay, I love that setting. I love that culture. Again, it's high society but dragons, and I love high society stuff.
It feels to me like, and this was, like, kind of the first little, like, the first time that, like, a family member ever bought me a fantasy book because they thought I would like it. It feels like it was, like, a book series written along the same veins as Pride, Prejudice, and Sea Monster. I think it's Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, and then, like, basically what they do is they take classic books, like what I would call classically boring, and then they add monsters into it, and they rewrite the whole story, including monsters.
So we're just learning that Bantam has no class right now.
I have zero class. I 100% accept that wholeheartly. I will wear that on my chest. I don't give a fuck about high society bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't care about an entire chapter dedicated to weddings, to court cases, to fucking dinner parties. The fact that you're defending the book and mentioning that there's 3 chapters dedicated to dinner parties.
Chapter 60, the narrator is forced to confess to having lost count of both proposals and confessions. It's like, that's so funny, okay? Come on.
Are you serious? Oh, hold on. Oh, yep. Nye posted chapter 16, rewards and weddings. 60, the narrator is forced to confess to having lost count of both proposals and confessions. So fucking dumb.
It's so
I,
good. Oh my
I
god! Look,
hate it
okay,
so much.
look, hold on,
Okay,
hold on.
no,
Listen, no, no, no. Let me finish. Listeners, please, I am actually begging you. If you hate this, that's okay. Please, at least read it at least once. It is worth at least one read, just to either love it or hate it. It's a unique experience all around. Please, just give it
and
a shot.
here's the thing, and I'm kind of sad Dilettant's not on the podcast anymore. Maybe someday we can claw him back. But he loved the book. He absolutely loved his book. It did something to his fucking brain, and he actually wanted to like write something along the same lines at one point. I only got through, and I want you to someday go back and listen to me on that episode. And I was so thankful Dilettant was there. I was so thankful because him and Ray could just talk. And then I would butt in every once in a while with suggestions that Dilettant sent me in Telegram because I did not finish that book either.
He helped you fake it.
I got a quarter of the way through the book, and I remember legitimately digging my fingers into my leg because I was so fucking bored. A horrible book.
No, it is such a good book. Oh my god,
Horrible.
I actually want to steal the Dragon's hierarchy system and like use it in like in D&D World or whatever. I can't remember what they're called, but like eminence being like the highest ones, dignified being the respected, dignified. Shit, I can't remember them all, but like it's so good. Okay, please, listener, give it a shot. Just please.
Like one sentence description. It is literally Downton Abbey with dragons.
I mean, you keep saying that, but you haven't seen Downton Abbey. Neither have I. So
I
can't swear on that.
I have seen enough of what Downton Abbey is. I know what Downton Abbey is because I watched a video on what Downton Abbey was. It was an hour long.
Okay.
Because I was like, why? Because it exploded like a couple years ago. Like people in America were like, oh my god, Downton Abbey. And I'm like, what the fuck does this show have in it that is making everybody lose their fucking minds? And so I watched this like review video on it, and he was just describing all the fucking drama between all these people. It was like an interconnected web of intrigue and bullshit between like 30 people living in a big house. And then sometimes the queen will show up. And it's like, what?
Bantam, are you familiar with Jane Austen?
Sounds very familiar.
The author of Pride and Prejudice?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know why. I've not read Pride and Prejudice, but apparently her name is just associated with the genre at this point, because there's a couple of dragon books that I have read that are called, the series is called Jane Austen's Dragons, right? It's supposed to be Pride and Prejudice with dragons, I guess. I'm assuming. Again, I haven't read Pride and Prejudice, but that was like the pitch that was given to me. I'm going to force you to read that at some point and see if you hate it as much as Tooth and Claw.
Okay.
It's going to be a blast. I think Mr. Darcy's actually in that book. I think he's actually a character that like they borrowed the name or something.
I found it.
Jane Austen's Dragons?
No. The book that I was given as a kid. And they were like, you'll love it. And I was like, this sucked. It was so bad.
Yeah, the Jane Austen's Dragons series by Maria Grace. I read the first one. I liked it. Holy shit, there's 10, 11, 12, 14... There's 15 books in this series? Jesus Christ. Oh, I said I love long book series, so But yeah, okay. Anyway, back on topic. Yeah, alright, so Tooth and Claw.
I found the other one. It's called Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters.
Yeah. Yeah, see, it's a whole genre. Her name is associated with the genre now, I think. But, yeah. Alright, so Tooth and Claw. Bantam hates it. I love it. I challenge you all to just listen to it, read it anyway, and just give it a shot. It's, again, whether you love it or hate it, it is an experience you cannot deny. Alright. Shit, was that it? Is that it? Oh, that was your number one golden poop. Alright, so now my number one, the golden dragon trophy. Like, what would be the golden trophy? Would it just be a dragon trophy?
It would be a golden dragon scale, I guess.
A scale, a claw, or something?
It's golden dragon claw.
I don't know, something. Whatever. The best. Alright, so my favorite series, I put
it's a
top of my top 5. The Golden Kobold. It's the Age of Fire series by E.E. Knight. It is probably the best dragon book series that I've read so far. It along with Temeraire and Lazy Scales and a couple others are ones that I've like seek out rereads periodically. I think Age of Fire, at least like the first book of the series, I've read the most. Like reread the most out of everything that I've reread ever. I don't like rereading things. It feels weird sometimes because I know it's happening and whatever. But like this is still like fun. It's one of the best alien-minded dragons I've ever read. Like, again, the dragons like actually like think differently. At least like I feel like they do. It does have a couple like fancy words like see and saw put in that Bantam doesn't like. Right. The dragons have like a very rich culture and history. Like if E.E. Knight wrote a book, like 1,000 whatever years in the past about Silver High, I would be all over that shit in a heartbeat. You have no idea. It is, again, if I have to give it like a bad point, like to be fair to the listeners, it is kind of long. Not like literally long, but like it feels long just because of the way it's written. It always feels weird calling a book a collection of scenes because that's literally what all stories are, is a collection of scenes. But this felt like a collection of scenes. Like, for example, the first book with Auron, you have like his little mini arc of him being like on the island with this I call it Seagull Island. I don't remember what it was actually called. The one that he ends up getting from the other dragon that he tricks the town into killing for him. Then you have like him with the wolves, him with the dwarves, him with Noomwalk, then him with the blighters, then him on the Isle of Ice. It's like a bunch of mini arcs all strung together into a long story, which I loved. But I could see how some people would think that just makes, again, the book is going to just drag on, for like too long, right?
Holy shit! Slap,
right? I mean, I said it earlier, and the Discord like called out the pun, and so I'm like, yeah, I can't say it again now. They're gonna jump all over it again, but yeah. So like, I will admit that. I will also admit that the first 3 books are amazing. The last 3 books in this series make almost no sense. Like book 4 was okay. But like book 5, I started to lose track of what was happening. I don't really understand why. I don't know if it was the way it was written. I think I remember hearing that series got rushed towards the end because of publishing issues or whatever, which is why self-publishing is the way to go. But whatever. But yeah, like I remember the ending being really weird to the point to where when we covered it on the podcast, I only made you guys read the first 3 books, and we did an episode on each one of those books. And then at the end of the last episode, I like spent just 15-20 minutes like rapid fire going through the last 3 books to just explain how it ended, and it felt weird. But
I do remember kind of liking the books. I mean, like, yeah. There was the character who was privileged. Well, 2 characters who were privileged, and then 1 character who was just beaten bloody with a stick over and over, and we just had to deal with it.
Rugard,
yeah. I liked him the most.
Yeah, he actually is my favorite. I love his book the most. Like, Auron is great. I love the adventures that Auron goes on. Again, because I love the wolves. I like Blackheart, I think his name was. I love the wolves. I love the dwarves. It was all great, but Rugard was like my favorite, and I love him, and I will forever hate what E.E. Knight did to him in the Dragoneer Academy. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, that's my favorite. What's your favorite, Bantam?
First, I want you to guess. Second, I want like 2 or 3
I know,
guesses.
I know what your favorite is.
Yeah,
it's The Conjuring of Zoth Avarax.
Yep. Yeah, so my favorite book is The Conjuring of Zoth Avarax. I very beginning of the book, the main character is heading to a giant bubble city that is hidden from public. It's kind of very sci-fi Men in Black alien shit. Mm-hmm. And one of the very first pages is he takes off his sunglasses, looks up into the sun, and then he goes, and then I burned my eyes, and the character goes, "Fuck, why did I do that?" And I was like, okay, this book is gonna be great.
It is a satirical book. It is meant to be humorous. It knows the genre it's making fun of, and it does it well.
At some point, Zoth Avarax, the dragon, is in this world, right? And he's doing an interview with a reporter.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know what's hot right now. Like shit.
He mentions Game of Thrones and the world that Game of Thrones takes place in, and then says, "quote, shit like that."
Like they ask him they ask him like where he's from, whatever, and he's like, I don't know what's hot right now. So what's the Game of Thrones word called?
I don't fucking know.
Whatever, but he names it, and he's like that, shit like that.
Yeah, he talks like anybody off the street in real life would talk. It was so fucking funny to me. The characters were all dorks, but like competent dorks. But I remember reaching out to the writer, which I have a standing invitation for an interview with him. He said that he's in the process of writing a different series right now, and when he's done with that, he'll contact me. I still have the email saved. But when I told him, like, just unabashedly, like, Yearbook is my favorite book I've ever fucking read, I'm not even joking. I actually went out and bought his other book series because I was like, and I told him that I was like, hey, I already bought the first book of your other series. And he's like, ooh, I'm sorry. It's not as funny as Zoth Avarax. And I'm like, oh, all right, well. So I haven't read it because now I'm not excited about it.
Yeah, I remember something that I said on the episode for the Conjure of Zoth Avarax, and I'm going to repeat it here for the listeners. If all the other dragon books on both of our top fives here was like a fine dining restaurant restaurant, like 1 Michelin star, like you go out to have a good time, you're gonna spend the whole evening and your whole life savings just for like this absolute like peak fiction, right? The Conjuring of Avarax is McDonald's, right? It is extremely lowbrow, satirical, but it can still hit the spot if that's what you're in for. It was good. It's worth at least a single read. But understand that it doesn't take itself seriously either.
I really wish there was like a website that would like archive really funny quotes from certain things.
You could just archive them yourself.
Yeah, I know. But I didn't think to do that. I don't have the book right in front of me. Whatever.
I guess you got to reread it. Oh no.
Let me just read this real quick. It says the dragon Zoth Avarax, the self-proclaimed greatest dragon in the multiverse, immediately eats the person next to him, snatches a princess from the ranks of the conjuring department, and flies away to the Space Needle. There he manipulates the media, outwits the bumbling management, demands $63 billion worth of treasure, because Smog was said to have had $62 billion in his hoard, threatens to destroy the city, and installs a couple food trucks. And yeah, the cover of the book is the Space Needle with like the most Welsh flag dragon on it, and there's a food truck on top, and there's an F-17 flying around. I
call it a clip art ass cover.
It is a clip art ass cover.
It's hilarious. Yeah, that just tells you the kind of humor you're into. Or you're going to get into there.
Well, because when I was a kid, one of my favorite books that I remember reading was Board of the Rings, which was the Lord of the Rings retold in that same satirical...
Bantam loves satire to an unhealthy degree. His favorite music bands are all satirical bands, and no, we're not going to get into them.
Just look up Steel Panther.
Rucka Ali.
Well, that's not satirical. That's straight up offensive. Yeah, but I do like Rucka.
I would call it satirical as far as music goes.
It's parody.
Like it's not meant to be taken seriously. Music.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So those are our top fives and our bottom threes. Hopefully that helps you people figure out what you want to purchase for yourself in this holiday season with those Barnes & Noble gift cards you've undoubtedly gotten. In your stockings. And what to avoid, unless you think like, hey, Race Crazy Dragon Friend sounds awesome. In which case, you know what? You do you. That's fine. Don't talk to me. But before we end, I do have some honorable mentions. Like I said at the beginning, I broke my own rules because here are a couple of things I have to honorable mention. All right, honorable mention number 1, it's Lazy Skills. All right, I love Lazy Skills. I really do. It is this close. It would be the most perfect, most amazing dragon book ever. It's a story where a kid gets turned into a dragon against his will because of some ancient magic. He's got to learn to become a dragon in the modern day, and it's great. It gave me the juice box scene. I will forever love book 5, chapter 27. Those who know, and it's great. Oh, it's so good, right? There's just one Becca-shaped problem with the book series that kept it from actually getting on my top 5. It was so close to being the actual number 1 best dragon book series ever, except for Becca.
It's funny because most of our podcast inside jokes are from Lazy Scales.
Yeah, the juice box, but I'm a baby.
But I'm a baby. And
whenever
the
I
juice
shake my
box
fist,
scene,
Becca.
And Becca. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, because I've talked to the author, I'm good friends with the author, right? Apparently, everyone loves Becca. And you know what? That's great, you guys. You're allowed to love terrible things. I'm not going to stop you. But, oh my god, I can't stand her. I'm not going to go off. I could spend, you know what? Eventually, okay. So I have reread the first 3 books of Lazy Scales many times because I love them. They're so good. The last 3, they get a little weird because that's kind of when the storyline kind of shifts from what I feel, which shifts from a Lewis being the main character to a Becca being the main character, but just seen through Lewis's eyes. Like, that's how much I hate it because she completely upstages him. Again, book 5 is uniquely special, chapter 27. Book 6 is weird because we get into some Eldritch stuff. But there's a second series, right? I have not read it. I read the first book just to give it a shot, but I've not read the rest of it because it's all about Becca. It's the Becca series. Oh my god. But I will eventually. I'm going to eventually read through all 12 again, and I'm going to make like a 3 or 4 hour retrospective on it. And it's just me going off the good, the bad, and what I would change. But yeah, alright. Second honorable mention is Golden Treasure. Mentioned it earlier. The entire Discord is waiting for me to say Golden Treasure would be like the #1 best dragon book of all times, right? And the reason why it's an honorable mention is because, first off, it's not a book, and I try to stick to books for the sake of the list because I've read a lot of books and I wanted to share my thoughts on books. Golden Treasure is technically a computer game. It is a visual novel, so you could say it's book adjacent, but on a technicality, I decided to not include it on my top 5 list. That being said, it is probably the single most important piece of dragon fiction to me personally. All right, it's not for everybody. It is very hit or miss for some people, mostly because of the way it's handled and the way it's written and all that. But the thing is, it can be, and at least to me it can be a very deep and spiritual experience, and was like a sort of awakening for me. I think I would have to go back through every episode to be sure. I think that the review for Golden Treasure is the only time I've ever like started crying on the podcast, right? Like,
I think so, yeah.
It was that special to me, and I think it's that great. But the reason why it's not on the list is it's partly technicality. It's not really a book, but also because I understand it being a spiritual experience, and it's written to be one. Like, the author did it on purpose, right? But because it's written to be a spiritual experience, it's not going to land for everybody. And people are going to go through that and be like, this was weird, or I didn't get it, or like a shrug, it was okay, I guess. Especially because the gameplay itself does have some problems. I really feel like he should not have made it a roguelite, basically, where you're kind of intended to die. He gives you 3 lives, and you're intended to die because even if you game over, you gain, there's like achievements in the back in the form of tarot cards, as well as knowledge gained on the animals in it to help make you stronger, to give you stat boosts. I didn't agree with that, just because, you know, dying when you're playing from the point of view of a dragon character and a game that you're meant to connect with, again, on a spiritual level, feels weird to like purposefully go in and like off yourself. And I had to a couple of times for the sake of the achievements, right? But yeah, and then also to a point, like, Bantam doesn't like made up words and stuff. If you're also like that, the language in this might be a little heavy for you because like everything is renamed to be from the point of view of primordial dragons. Like, wolves are called clan singers. I can't remember a lot of them, but everything has really weird names, right? The language is definitely something that you'll have to get used to if you want to get into it. Again, I loved it, but I just love that shit in general. Bantam, do you think the language was a bit too heavy since you didn't like the made up words in like Mating Flight and Tooth and Claw and stuff?
No. I only recall it bothering me in Tooth and Claw, Mating Flight, and whatever book had See and Saw. Yeah. The See and Saw thing was more of a meme. The book didn't really have that many things that aggravated the piss out of me. But when the book has a glossary at the back, like, fuck you.
Yeah. But so there's some language that could be a barrier to entry in there. But again, it's really important. The soundtrack to this day still makes me cry. Like, and I'm gonna try not to think about it. But the scene between chapters 2 and 3 of the series, I don't want to say what it not series the game. I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to rob people of the experience if they play through it themselves. This is my Outer Wilds, right? Where I'm like, you need to go in blind, right? But so the scene between the chapter 2 and 3, so after the second great sleep, especially if I think about the actual line of dialogue, will absolutely make me tear up. Between that and the main menus, the music, I'm just gonna go off of this for like 10 minutes on how good this is. The soundtrack makes me cry, and like when I first played it, when I launched the game for the first time, the music with the on the main menu with the image of the dragon egg and just knowing that that's supposed to be you, I can feel it already. I'm already crying. It hit me so powerfully, and it was just, again, it's a very spiritual experience, and it was very important to me. And it didn't really help that before playing this game, like I thought to myself when I was like a kid in high school, like I'm gonna make a dragon game because that doesn't exist. Like people don't really play from the point of view of dragons a lot. I'm gonna make a dragon game. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be this type of game with this, and that. I wanted the whole idea to be that you would be in a dragon egg and you would hatch, and the tutorial was basically your parents teaching you about the world around you and how to hunt and stuff. Like that was a very immersive way to do tutorial, right? And so the opening of the game was going to be like a black screen where you have the voice of your mother, and I was going to have my actual mother record the voices for me. I thought that was going to be a nice touch. But because the game starts with you being literally in the egg, I was going to make the main menu like a weird, I don't remember exactly what I was thinking. It was supposed to be like if you had vision of the inside of an egg, like if you were inside and there was like a light outside. So there was going to be like veins. I don't know how to describe it because it's in my head and I'm very bad at describing imagery. But like it was going to be something like that. So launching this game and seeing the egg and then that combined with the music completely destroyed me like immediately. I'm gonna probably play it again soon because I wanted to play it once a year, but this last year has been absolute shit to me for like my mental health and all that I avoided it because I wanted to stay with when I was in a good state of mind, but it's absolutely going to destroy me again. I might try and stream it if you're okay hearing me cry on stream as I read through the dialogue because again, the main menu, the whole prologue of being inside the egg, and then some of the scenes, especially between acts 2 and 3, it's so good. But yeah, so again, Golden Treasure would be the best, but part technicality and part I understand it won't be for everybody is why it didn't make it onto the list. But again, it's great. The sequel is going to come out soon, TM, because he's actually like working on it. He's got the funding. It's being worked on, and I'm so excited. And if I have a job when that comes out, I'm taking a week off, and I'm going to play it over the course of like 3, 4, 5 days. And yeah. Sorry, I got a little teary there. I'm sorry.
No, that's totally fine. You are allowed to have feelings.
I am allowed to have feelings. Feelings can make people uncomfortable, and I don't want to make the the listeners uncomfortable by crying on stream in front of them. All right, so thank you for joining us, everybody.
To me, it's heartwarming. I've watched Jesse Cox playing Final Fantasy XIV at the end of Endwalker and Shadowbringers and stuff, and I mean, he sobbed like a baby live in front of thousands of people, and everybody was just like, "Aw."
My human father was German, so emotions are bad and toxic masculinity and all that. So
yeah, it's a little worse than
But yeah, so my human father. Yes, again, Golden Treasure was an awakening for me, and we'll get into that on a different day. But yes, thank you for joining us, everybody. This was our little Christmas present to you guys. Again, sorry for not being very active. Again, life sucks. I'm sorry. We're going to do better moving forward. I don't want to make any promises on a schedule, but I can promise that we will try, that we will do our best, and that we will slowly get through the backlog we've been accumulating.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next episode we do, hopefully sometime in January. Like Bantam said, he has a lot of time off coming up because of the way scheduling is working during this holiday season. But we're going to be trying to do... Hold on, it's behind me. Let me check the name of the book real fast.
I mean, I have it kind of right in front of me.
All right, The Scales and Honor series by Justin Lee. We're going to do the first book, just because that's going forward. We're trying to just do the first book of a series to give you your toe in the water kind of scenario. I, personally, might try to do the second and or third book, just because I heard the grapevine that book 1 is just book 1, but books 2 and 3 have 2 different versions of themselves out there, because there's like a safe book and a not safe book. Like there's going to be sex between the 2 main characters.
He gave us the not safe ones.
He did. So I want to at least read the second one and see just how spicy is it, so I can let the people know during the review how raunchy it gets, right?
It can't be worse than Night's Fire.
It can't. Well, the point is like I can't talk. It's gonna give me some insight into why he wanted to release 2 different copies. If he just wanted to have a completely clean one for people like, we have some people on our Discord that do not like it at all. Like they just all caps ew when I said that there was dragon sex in Mating Flight, right? So maybe it's for them. He's being considerate of them. But like to me, when I'm like, here's a safe book and a not safe for work version, I'm like, okay, this has got to be really, really spicy. Then holy shit. But yeah, so that's what we'll be doing next time. No promise on when, but hopefully in January. Again, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for all your patience, and just thank you for being amazing.
Yeah. Bye.
Yep. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff.
Merry
Dragmas. Merry Dragmas.
Dragmas. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And a Kobold New Year.
And a Kobold New Year. Goodbye, everyone.